Okay, well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess. I did 2 videos already on YouTube today, and number 3 would not let me on. So I don't know, maybe that's the situation. Maybe you just can't do 3. But anyway, I prefer doing Facebook Live, but Facebook is making it really awkward, difficult, time consuming to keep our videos on there. So I'll do YouTube. All right, I am working on my Double Dog Dare challenge. I had several people challenge me to make some cards, and so I'm on number 7. Let me turn the camera down, and we are making a fishing themed Father's Day card. Where's the rest of my screen? There we go. A fishing themed Father's Day card for Jane Myers. So thanks for playing along, Jane, and let's see what I come up with. So first and foremost, I am using this classic wedding stamp set and dies. These sadly are on the last chance. The stamps were 24, they're now 21.60. The dies were 28, they're now 16.80. So very fun. I did something with a beach theme, and I used actual sandpaper, so that was kind of fun. All right, so first things first, I'm going to start with this piece of Azure Afternoon. I lost the name of it for a second there. And I'm going to dry emboss this with my Plaster Painting 3D folder. I feel like this can look like water. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in this way. I don't know that it really matters. And my embossing machine is over here. I'm not going to bore you by dragging it over to the camera. So trust me, I am rolling this through my Stamp Cut Emboss machine and opening it for you live. Does it kind of look like water? Hi, Jean and Kara. Thanks for joining me today. I'm working on my Double Dog Dare challenge. So, alright, there's my background. Then I am going to bring in my little Stamp Cut Emboss machine to cut out the car. I already stamped it, as you could see. And the other thing I did in advance, I put adhesive sheet on the back of this two-toned gray cardstock. So, let's see, on the far side. So I'm going to cut out the bumper, the fender, I think, right? Yeah. And I'm backwards here. And the tail, the frame around the window, and some other of the detail pieces from this car. We'll just set that there. And then I'm going to cut out the car. I hope this fits on my Mini. Oops. Yes, fits on here. Alright, let's get this. Oh my gosh, I'm just backwards here. I'm totally backwards. Alright. Let's get this centered. Slip the top plate on. Hope it doesn't move, and it did. So pull in a little piece of washi tape just for an extra little measure there. I think I'm still a little off, but we're gonna go with it. So I've got Jean watching and maybe Kara. Alright, so there's my first car onto the floor. I had a nickel for every single thing that I drop during the day. I would be rich. Alright, let's get the embossing machine out of the way. Okay, then I have cut I have stamped the trunk of the car. I want the trunk to open, and I'm not sure if I want it opening up or down. So, but I scored this before I cut it here. So, apparently I can't do small talk while I'm cutting. Okay, so I've got the trunk, and I know that the handle is here, but for some reason I was thinking that the trunk could open that way, but it isn't really going to matter. It isn't really going to matter. Either way, let's go ahead and get these pieces going, and let's get this car made. Alright. I just used a scrap of gray granite. I could have used silver, but I didn't this time. Alright, oh, I hope I can make heads and tails of all of these little pieces. Alright, this one obviously is the back fender, so I know where that goes. When you add these little details, of course they're putsy and they take time, but oh my gosh, they're kind of what makes the whole dang thing, aren't they? This Take Your Pick tool is a lifesaver for little things like this. This must be the handle to the trunk, so that's going to go on here. And then these are the tail lights, and there is also a red die cut to add to that. The details. Let's see, where's the other one? Here we go. I should have my little magnetic bowl out here so I don't lose any of these dies. Alright. Dies. Putting those back where they go. I'm grabbing this one. This little guy is the piece that's gonna go in. Sally, you love the putsy stuff? Oh, I do too. Okay, this little piece is gonna be the tail lights. So let me run that through really quick. Oh. And I'm running out of surface today. This is my 4th card. The other 3 I did videos of are posted on my Facebook page, and you just have to click the YouTube link to watch them. This one, however, when I got to video number 4 today, it would not let me go on YouTube. So I don't know, like I already said, if the answer is you can't do 4 in one day. I have no idea. I am very new to YouTube, and the only reason that I'm using YouTube is because Facebook is only allowing us to keep our videos on for 30 days. And then they delete them. So doing them on YouTube eliminates having to transfer them over. Alright, so here's my water, here's my car, and then I didn't have anything fishing related, and so I cut this out of my Cricut. And now in hindsight, I wish that my water was not the same color as my fishing pole pieces. So I'm going to cut another piece here. I think I'm going to use Cloud Cover, one of our new colors. Let me just trim this. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is what. Shoot, that wasn't big enough. Let's start with a full sheet. So I'm making this the full card front. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Usually I leave a border around the edges, but I wanted there to be as much water as possible. So now I need to make another put my embossing folder back in and run this through again. Here we go, lighter colored water. You know, I could make a whole landscape here if I wanted to, but I just thought I would go with the water look. Alright, so there's the water, there's my car, here's my cute little fishing rod with a fish on it. And so now I think I will make the trunk that direction. Okay. So let's glue this on. We're going to go ahead and attach the car. I think I'm going to pop him up. So let's use some of the large dimensionals. I probably should stamp those tires in black. And I should have done it before. I'm not going to do it because I should have done it before. Let's just color them in. Using my blends. This is the light black, which is kind of nice because the lines are still showing in the tire. Alright, is there anything else I should have done here? I think we're good. I just felt like the wheels, tires should not be. Timid Tiger. This is one of the new colors. I'm in love with it. I think it's my favorite new in color. Timid Tiger. One more over here in the middle. So it's Friday, and I'm in Worthington, Minnesota. It's about 65 degrees out today, which I'll take all summer long. I would actually prefer 70, maybe 72, but I'm not complaining at all of the weather. Alright, there's that. I'm going to put some, I'm not going to put any dimensionals on this. I'm going to put it in here flat. We'll see what happens when I do that. I think it's going to kind of put it in the background a little. The paper is already embossed, so it already gives it a little dimension. But let's pop up the fish. So let me use a couple little dimensionals on his tail. And then let's glue his mouth down flat. So his tail's going to have a little dimension to it. Alright, now I'm going to take my bone folder and give this a good crease. Once this has been in the envelope for a while, it will be fine. I actually had a second fish, and I may use that on the inside. Alright, so now I need a piece of thick white. And remember I said that I made the card front base the full size, so this is not going to have a border around it at all. Let's see. I might have to trim this just a little bit. You know, sometimes human error, right? And I have found that not all 8.5 by 11 is exactly 8.5 by 11. You know, like you gotta allow for the width of your trimmer blade. So many. That's why I do prefer to have a border around my edges, because then it doesn't have to be exact. But I just wanted a lot of water. Okay, let me I had a little something sticky on my hand, so let me grab my little glue eraser. Get that off there, and then I'm going to just trim this edge with my long scissor. I don't love doing this, but sometimes you just have to, because this is really thin for me to put on my trimmer. I could put this on my rotary cutter and get an exact cut, but there we go. Okay, there's the start of my Father's Day card. Now I have this retired set. Life is Great, the mountains. I thought one of these would look okay on the trunk here. And I most likely should have stamped that before, but I didn't. Let's see, what do I want to put on here? Should we do the mountains? Alright, let's do that. And I'm going to stamp that in black, and then I'm just going to fussy cut that. Let me grab a scrap here. This is not a necessary piece, but you know, it's the details, right? There, stamped off. I think I'm going to use the stamped off one. Tiny little white border on this. Glue this on the trunk just for fun. Like Dad's got a big old bumper sticker on the back, huh? And then I have Happy Father's Day. Where do I want to do that? I think I'm just going to make a banner across the top. A skinny very simple. Ooh, such a nice clean such a nice clean stamp that one is. Nice and dark. Try to get this as straight as possible and trim that off. And then I'm just going to come in and do a traditional banner on each end here. Let's trim this off just a little so these sides match. It's a handmade card. They don't have to be perfect. I do like to curl this a little. So I'll have one side going up and one side going down. Just gives your card a little bit of dimension, a little detail. So that means that I need a pop dot here, but not here. Just a little bit of dimension on that. What do you think? Is it getting cute? Happy Father's Day. It's definitely a cutesy card. It's not, you know, anything super sentimental. And then, how about if I put "You're the Best" on the inside? Again, apologize that I'm using some older sets, but I had to use what I had, right? You're the best. And then I'm going to go ahead, where's that fish? I'm going to go ahead and put that fish on the inside. This one won't have the details, but I think that it's a good idea to have this in the inside here. A little string there. and glue the fish in. And there you have it. Let me add my signature to the back. And let's add, I've been kind of having fun adding a few more little details to the back of my cards. So this one says, let me stamp it off so it's not so dark. Here's to the next adventure. Just ties it all together, doesn't it? Alright, there you have it. A Father's Day card with a fishing theme for Jane Myers. Thanks for playing along, Jane, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned for card number 8.